Have you ever written something in a moment of grief that touched millions? On May 3rd, 1915, amid the horror of World War I, a doctor picked up his pen. Stay with me to discover how 15 lines scribbled in a notebook became one of the most powerful war poems ever written. The Western Front, 1915. The Second Battle of Ypres rages. Poison gas has just been used for the first time in warfare, and a Canadian physician named John McCrae has just spent 17 days treating wounded soldiers in a makeshift dressing station. The scenes McCrae witnesses are beyond imagination. Endless streams of injured men, the screams of the dying, the smell of blood and gas. But it's the death of one young soldier that affects him most deeply. Lieutenant Alexis Helmer, a 22-year-old friend and former student of McCrae's, is killed by a direct hit from a German shell. With no chaplain available, McCrae himself performs the burial service. The next day, sitting in the back of an ambulance, McCrae notices something striking: bright red poppies blooming between the makeshift graves of the fallen. In just 20 minutes, he pours his grief onto paper. In Flanders Fields, the poppies blow. Between the crosses, row on row, the words flow from his pen, giving voice to both sorrow and determination. This isn't just poetry, it's a conversation between the living and the dead. What makes this poem extraordinary isn't just its imagery, but its perspective. Unlike most war poetry that speaks from the viewpoint of survivors, In Flanders Fields gives voice to those who've fallen. They speak directly to us from their graves. McCrae initially discards the poem, but a fellow officer retrieves it. When published in Punch magazine that December, it resonates immediately with a public struggling to comprehend the war's enormous toll. Over 9 million soldiers would die before the conflict ended. The poem's impact proves astonishingly enduring. The image of the poppy becomes forever linked with remembrance. By 1918, inspired by McCrae's words, American professor Moyna Michael begins wearing a silk poppy in memory of the fallen. Today, more than a century later, millions still wear poppies around Remembrance Day and Veterans Day. The tradition spans continents, connecting generations who never experienced the war firsthand. Tragically, McCrae wouldn't live to see this legacy. In January 1918, exhausted from years of service, he died of pneumonia and meningitis. His simple poem outlived him to become one of the most quoted works of the 20th century. The power of In Flanders Fields lies in its final stanza, not just remembrance, but a call to action. The dead urge the living, take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high. What words have moved you to action? Have you ever found strength in poetry during difficult times? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow on History Sparks, we'll explore another moment when creativity emerged from crisis to change hearts and minds forever. It's a story of inspiration and courage you won't want to miss. If this journey into the power of words touched you, please hit that like button and subscribe to History Sparks. Together, we're discovering how even in humanity's darkest hours, the light of expression continues to illuminate our path forward.